What's up, schmucks? Welcome back to Turkey Talk, the show where we talk about movies and other things in pop culture, like comic books and TV shows. Although this week we're mostly just talking about movies, I will say. Hi, how you doing? I hope you're having a lovely day. My camera is all kinds of fuck. Like, I usually have it a certain way and it's fine, but I did something to it. I don't know what. That looks kind of okay. Whatever. Anywho, this week we are going to be talking a little bit of news. We're going to talk about the Devil Wears Prada 2, which I saw, and actually, no, that's it for the topic. Then Weekly Media Club, homework was Hereditary. I hadn't seen it. I have been meaning to watch it for years because it came out in 2018. And I finally watched it, and we're going to talk about it. And then we have things to talk about Daredevil, The Boys, the Weekly Media Club, and then comic books, kind of, sort of, not really. But yeah, I mean, for news this week, we've got news about a Django Unchained sequel of sorts, the trailer for Zach Cregger's Resident Evil movie, news about the next season of My Adventures with Superman, and Netflix is actually going to put their movies in theaters, or at least one of their movies in a theater. So yeah, lots to discuss, but not really. Is what, 1, 2, 4 news stories to talk about. But I think they're pretty meaty, so, you know. Also, it's late. It's a lot later than I intended to record this, so it's not that I'm going to, like, rush through this, but I'm not looking to spend a million goddamn years talking about, fucking Django. But I do want to talk about Django, because I guess we'll jump into our first story. Django Unchained is my favorite Quentin Tarantino movie. I know a lot of people like to say Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction's kind of like the go-to. There's a lot of like film bros. You ask them, like, what's your favorite movie? Oh, Pulp Fiction, bro. Pulp Fiction's the best movie ever made. No. But Django is my favorite Tarantino movie. It's just so smooth. It flows beautifully. Performances are incredible. Jamie Foxx is outstanding in that movie. He is remarkable. DiCaprio as Candy, such a good villain. I do think Kerry Washington kind of gets the short end of the stick in that movie. I understand, kinda. Like, that's a character that was never really going to get a lot of play, but she really does not get a lot of play in that movie. She doesn't really do much of anything. But, you know, like, aside from that, I do love that movie. Christoph Waltz is incredible and it's great. Anywho, there was word this week that there is going to be a Django and Zorro crossover movie. Tarantino is not going to direct, but he has approved of it. It's going to be written by Brian Helgeland. 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 I don't know. Unfamiliar with his work to my knowledge. I mean, maybe he's written something I've seen. But it was also been reported that, although based on the 2014 comic series co-written by Quentin Tarantino and Matt Wagner, the untitled movie will revolve around a new story. And there's currently no word on if Jamie Foxx will return or Antonio Banderas. So this is very exciting. I like the sound of this a lot. I, again, love Django. I also love Zorro. I know Anthony Hopkins played Zorro at one point, but I've only seen the one with Antonio Banderas, whatever that one is. Is that Mask of Zorro? Legend of Zorro? Whichever one that is the one that I've seen. But yeah, no, I love that. I love that a lot. This thing happening. I haven't read the crossover comic. I've known about it, but I never got to it. But it sounds like that's something I'm gonna have to read. So I'll hunt that down. But yeah, I mean, this is really cool. I am curious. Curious. I'm curious. What will be like? What will they do about the Zorro thing? I mean, I assume Jamie Foxx will return for this. I don't see why he wouldn't. But I'm curious how they'll handle Zorro. Like, are they going to continue the continuity of the Antonio Banderas Zorro, or are they gonna recast and have a new Zorro within like a new continuity? Like, I don't know. I'm very interested in that. I'm also curious in who they'll get to direct this, because Django Unchained is a Tarantino movie. It's a Tarantino movie. Love him or hate him. I don't like the guy, but his movies are great. Unfortunately, a terrible person that makes very good movies. Tarantino movies have like that. They have like an energy, an aura to them, and the Tarantino-ness of it all. If you're watching a Tarantino movie, he's a director with a very distinct style. And so I wonder if if they're going to hire a director, the studio, and say, you need to recreate this, you need to recreate the Tarantino-ness of it all. Or if they'll get a different director and be like, hey, you have your own style, your own shit, just do this the way you want to do it. I'm very curious in that. I also know there's the Cliff Booth sequel show movie coming out that's directed by David Fincher, right? Like that's another thing that's like taking a Tarantino character and doing something new with them. I think Tarantino wrote that one though and then handed it off to Fincher. And then this one is not involving Tarantino in any capacity, it seems, which is very interesting. I'm curious how this is going to go. But yeah, I mean, I can't say I'm not excited. I think that's very, very interesting. I know I said the Resident Evil trailer was going to come next in my little thingy I do, but I'm actually going to say that for last because I have a lot to say about that. So we'll just skip that and we'll come back to her. My Adventures with Superman is returning for season 3. I was getting kind of nervous there. I was getting a little nervous. It's been a while since season 2. That was 2024, I believe. But it's going to be releasing on June 13th. It's going to center on Reign of the Supermen, and Jessica Cruz will appear, which is going to lead into her getting her My Adventures with Green Lantern spin-off series, which is pretty exciting, I think. Shows don't do backdoor to pilots anymore. Instead, they just announced, like, oh, hey, this character's getting a spinoff. Like Neely in Reacher. There's no episode of Reacher that's like a backdoor spinoff for the Neely show. They're just like, yeah, she's getting her own show. Check that out. But yeah, I mean, cool. Reign of the Supermen is interesting. I think, like, with Superman doesn't have as many iconic stories that don't involve his death, the way that, like, Batman does. Like, Batman's got, you know, Year One, Long Halloween, Dark Knight Returns, Hush, Serious House on Serious Earth, what's it called? Shaman, there's another one. Dark Patterns. Like, there are, like, these really, some of those not as iconic as the others. Dark Victory. Like, all these different Batman stories you can do. He is a very versatile character. But with Superman, it feels like the comic books you can really pull from for him is, like, Death of Superman. That's all. Really, like, what else does he have? And that's not to say Superman doesn't have great stories. He does. I mean, All-Star Superman's great, but that's another one that's the end of Superman. Like, All-Star Superman is the end of Superman. That's his death. He finds out he's got, like, space cancer and he's going to die. And so he rushes to find a way to, like, keep the Earth safe once he's gone and to kind of, like, tie up some loose ends that he's had lying around, and him coming to terms with his mortality. And it's a beautiful story. But, you know, you can't really, I don't know, maybe they'll do that in the final season. But right now we're doing Reign of the Supermen. But Reign of the Supermen comes after the death of Superman, if I'm remembering correctly. That after Superman dies at the hands of Doomsday, different Supermen show up, or Superman-esque characters, like Superboy, Steel is there, Cyborg Superman, sometimes, I believe. He's on the poster, so they're going to do that in some capacity. Steel is in the last season, so I guess that makes sense. I don't know how they're going to do Superboy, since he and Lois don't have a kid yet. But also, there's different versions of Superboy. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, of all the DC characters, Superman is probably the one that I read maybe the least, in terms of, like, the main ones. Like, I've read more Aquaman comics than Superman comics. Like, I have, like, vague knowledge on some of the Superman things, because when I was a kid I had, like, this big encyclopedia thing about Superman, and it went over, like, him, all his side characters, his villains, his iconic stories, and this and that. So a lot of the Superman things I know come from that book I had when I was like 7 or 8, that I'm vaguely remembering. Whereas, like, Batman, like, no, Batman's my guy. I've read all those Batman comics that I was just talking about. So yeah, I mean, I am with a vague knowledge of Reign of the Supermen. I am interested to see how they're going to handle this. Superman and Lois did the Reign of the Supermen kind of in their final season, but they also kind of did Death of Superman too. So I'm curious how this season's going to go, but I'm looking forward to it. I love this show. Great stuff. It's just prime Superman stuff, you know, with like a kind of, it's not fully anime, but it has like an anime vibe to it that I appreciate. I could go with them like leaning into it a little bit more. Sometimes it feels like they're afraid to lean into it. But I also will say that my biggest problem with the show is its villains. Like, I think the villains are good. Like, its version of Brainiac is maybe my favorite version of Brainiac ever. I guess we'll see what James Gunn does. But the designs are not great. Like, I think that Brainiac design's good, where he's just a big robot. I like that. Like, a lot of people think he's an alien. He's not. He's a cyborg. He's a robot. He's an AI. But fucking, what is it? Parasite is just like a big monster looking thing. Don't like that. Livewire, who isn't Livewire not a Superman villain? Isn't Livewire like a Flash villain? Am I wrong about that? But even still, like, Livewire in the show's got a lame ass design. Deathstroke has a lame design. Why is Deathstroke in this? They keep getting Deathstroke to fight everyone except the Teen Titans. What the fuck? Actually, there's new Deathstroke comics. Just remember that. I gotta read that. I think I bought a copy too. Shit. Anywho. But yeah, I love My Adventures with Superman. I'm looking forward to it a lot. Next, we're going to talk about Netflix. Netflix is going to be releasing the Greta Gerwig Narnia movie in theaters and IMAX worldwide for about 45 days, if not more. And that is out February 12th. This is pretty big because they've never done this before. On occasion, they have released some of their Netflix original movies to theaters for like a very small window. They did it for Glass Onion. I think they did it for Dead Men Tell No, that's not what it's called. Wake Up Dead Man, which is the third Knives Out. And then they did it very briefly for Frankenstein. I think there was a couple others, but no Netflix original has gotten like a full, proper theatrical release. So doing that in IMAX too, for Gerwig's Narnia, that's huge, because that was honestly my biggest issue with it, was that I was going to have to watch Greta Gerwig do Narnia on my fucking TV. That was going to make me really angry. But they're putting it in theaters, so I'm on board. Let's do it. Let's go. I have said this before in a video I haven't finished editing with a friend. Is that I do think Greta Gerwig should be doing more interesting things. Like, I think Greta Gerwig is a great voice to have in the industry. I think Barbie's really good. I love Lady Bird. Little Women's excellent. But, like, I wanted to see her do more of that stuff. But I think she is signed on to do, like, all 7 Narnia movies. If she wanted to do, like, the first 2 and then leave or something like that, the way that, like, Villeneuve is doing 3 Dune movies and then he's done, which I genuinely think they're going to get someone to come in and finish the books, or try until one of them flops. But, like, if they want to do something with that with her, like, hey, start us off and we'll hire more, like, gun for hires to ruin this. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I want to see her make a musical. She has it in her to make a beautiful musical, and I wanted to see her do that. Or just more, like, personal stuff. But also maybe she has, like, a vision for Narnia. I haven't really looked into, like, if she said anything about this. Maybe she has, like, a really beautiful idea of how to make the Narnia movie, and I'm just a hater. I don't know. But yeah, I mean, I wanted to see her do different things. So her kind of attaching herself to book adaptation blockbuster, I can't say that's, like, super interesting to me. But I mean, I'm going to be there day one. Are you fucking kidding me? Come on. But anyway, let's talk about Resident Evil. Woo! How is the way that the announcer used to say? Resident Evil. Something like that. So anywho, Resident Evil trailer. Zach Cregger, director of Barbarian and Weapons, 2 great movies. Weapons, I prefer. I know some people think Barbarian's better, which is fine. I think they're both excellent, but Weapons for me is a lot more solid. I kind of lose something in Barbarian in the third act. But with Weapons, I love all the way through. I think the movie's excellent. But Zach Cregger, writing and directing this. There's like some details out. He did a big interview about this, and I was reading it, and it sounds like he's really got a solid fucking vision for this. But just like some quick details, it takes place in Raccoon City during the events of Resident Evil 2 and 3, which take place in the same night, if you didn't know. Filmed to be from the POV of a normal guy, including first-person shooter action and wide lens over-the-shoulder shots. It's based around gameplay mechanics like weapon progression and looting. I want to come back to that. And Cregger says that there's no point in adapting the games because it's already been done. So he just wants to work within the world. That's not a direct quote. That's me paraphrasing. But like that's something I've talked about on this show multiple times. The times that I've talked about like video game adaptations, because I made my homework all of the Tomb Raider movies for like 3 weeks in a row, and they're not good. And then I did like the Mario movie. Like I've seen a lot more video game movies this year than I think like ever before in my life, and they're fucking bad. They're not good. I don't like the Last of Us show. The second season, the first season's fine. It's highly overrated. But like my thing with video game adaptations is that I don't think they should be one-to-one. I don't think you should just take a video game and remake it as a film. Like I think that's not only is it very lazy, I think it's also missing the point of video games as an art form. Like I think movie remakes more often than not are pointless too. Like if it exists, leave it be. I also think that in some cases, art is created in the medium it was designed to be for, right? Like I wouldn't have made a Last of Us adaptation. Like there was movie talk for a while and it became the TV show, but I think that's a completely pointless adaptation because it doesn't work. The Last of Us is designed to be a video game. God of War is getting a TV adaptation. It's designed to be a video game. All these different things are created in the medium they're created for a reason. So to take that, put it in a different medium of art and try to like make it one-to-one and make it fit, you're going to lose something somewhere. And you might make something that's still watchable. Like Fallout is good, but it's also, Fallout is an example of taking a video game world and working in that, playing in that sandbox. And that's what Krager is doing here. And I think that's a brilliant idea. And the way that he's going about it, where he's not adapting, like, what did Leon do? Let's watch Claire do the whatever again. Let's watch Jill fight fucking Nemesis again. Let's watch blah, 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 blah. You know, the idea of just seeing a thing you've already seen, but what if we did it again in a different medium of art and it wasn't as good? That's stupid. So the idea of just fucking ignoring that, taking that world, that sandbox, and playing in that and doing something new in that world with those rules, with that lore, that is interesting. That is cool and compelling. And that's when I think The Last of Us show is at its best. The episode in season 1 about Bill and I forgot his husband's name, but that's the best episode because it's not in the game. It takes something from the game, using those characters, that world, recontextualizing them for the show, and giving us something we hadn't seen before. It's great. And, you know, it also kind of works as its own little contained thing, like in the wider story. It's not a filler episode. It's fleshing out the world, and we get a little bit more about Joel and stuff. But it's different. You know, and whenever that show did something from the game, like one-to-one, it's bad. It's so much worse. Like the most iconic scene when Joel talks to Ellie after the whole Tommy stuff. In the game, like it's just I don't know, it just hits a lot different. And in the show, when they're like recreating it, it's ass. It's not good. Pedro Pascal, Bella Ramsey are both incredible actors, but they can't sell that the way that Troy Baker and Ashley Johnson did. So, you know, the mentality of, we'll take a thing that already exists, we'll just do it again for a movie or a TV show. It's been done. It's been tried. It fails every time in getting that same reaction from an audience. So I think Krager's doing the right thing here. And anyone who's whining about this, like, oh, it doesn't look like Resident Evil. It doesn't look the same. Leon's not in it. It's not real. Shut up. Shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. Like the point of this movie is to make another story that happened in this world. It's playing in the canon. It's working with the rules and the established story of this world and trying to do something new, while again playing with those rules. The T-virus is in this movie. It plays a role. We're going to see this character fight creatures and monsters that will feel very Resident Evil. That's great. They're going to be T-virus zombies will be in this. We also can't rule out that there might be a game character. You might see Leon do a backflip. You don't know. That wouldn't break the movie for me. But the idea of not centering this adaptation around that is so much more interesting. And Krager wanting to adapt the game mechanics into the movie is a fucking brilliant idea. You know, playing with weapon progression, looting. I saw that there's going to be stalker enemy types that are going to follow the main character around. You're going to feel that. The idea of filming it like a video game, so there's like over the head stuff and first person shit. That's incredible. Like I wish the Mortal Kombat movie did that with its action set pieces, shooting them from a like the fighting match in the games, but instead they don't do that. So it just feels like a movie fight that's choppy and edited to hell, and it doesn't look very good. But if you put the Street Fighter movie is doing this, if you pull the camera back, have them here and they're fighting back and forth, it recreates that vibe, that feeling, and you can have some fun with it and do funny shit. That's what I want to see. Adapt the mechanics, the aesthetics of the game, but do something new with it. I don't want to see this something I've already seen over and over again. Have we learned nothing from the Disney remakes? We like to go online and say like, oh, remakes are bad. But then when we see something new that might challenge us, that might try to do something different and unique, we get upset about it. Our reactions to go, ugh, that's not like the thing I remember. I don't want it. Fucking baby shit, man. Like, art is supposed to challenge us. It's supposed to make us feel something. That's what Krager is doing here, and I could not be more excited. Not to mention, the movie just looks fucking cool. But yeah, no, rant over. I'm very excited. I love Zach Krager. I think he's one of the best voices in horror right now. Him, Parker Finn, Ari Aster. Ari Aster's not really a horror director, though. He made like one horror movie. But yeah, no, my point stands that I think this looks fantastic, and I'm very, very excited. Okay, let's talk about The Devil Wears Prada 2. I watched them both today. I watched the first one right before I went to see the second one. And I think that actually helped. I think to go from the first one and then like 30 minutes later sit down for the second one, I think that was really good for the viewing experience. But yeah, okay, so The Devil Wears Prada 2. Legacy sequel, 20 years later. Anne Hathaway's back, Meryl Streep is back, Emily Blunt is back, Stanley Tucci is back. Directed by David Frankel again. It tells the story of Anne Hathaway's character, Andy. She has to return to Runway to serve as the head of the writing department for Runway because their PR is bad. I forgot why. Something happens. And they decide that they're going to bring Anne Hathaway in, and she's going to write good articles. She's going to save the reputation of Runway. Meanwhile, well, actually, that's kind of the plot of the movie for like the first act. But then the movie becomes something else because the guy that owns the company that owns Runway, something happens to him, and he can no longer run the company. So his son steps in, and his son's mentality, who's played by BJ Novak, his decision is that we're going to scale everything back from Runway, and we're basically going to strip it of everything that makes it what it is. And then it becomes like a running around adventure about trying to save the company from this guy and other stuff. And meanwhile, like there's like some romance stuff, and there's some comedy and some drama and some whatevers, and I liked this a lot. I'm talking about it like I didn't. I did. I liked this a lot. I thought this was really fun. But yeah, it's a little messy, I'll say. The first one is a lot more straightforward. It's, like Anne Hathaway. She's new to the world of fashion. She doesn't really know it. She wants to be a journalist. So she, just happens to get hired at Runway to work for Meryl Streep. Miranda Priestley? Yeah. Miranda Priestley, that's what it is. Miranda Priestley, who is the devil. She's awful. She's a real cutthroat person in a cutthroat business. And everyone there is terrible and mean and awful, except Stanley Tucci, who's cool and fun. The job, Andy becomes a workaholic. She dedicates herself to her work a little too much. It stresses out her personal life, her friendships. Her boyfriend's an asshole. That's my biggest problem with that first movie. It always kind of was. Something about that never sat right with me. But like watching it again today, I realized my issue is that he flips out on her. He's like, "You're not the same person. You don't love me anymore. You're neglecting me, blah, 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 blah." And then she apologizes to him. I feel like he should have been like, "Hey, I was like lashing out. I was very emotional. I'm sorry." Just an apology. But instead, she's the one who's framed to make the apology. It's stupid. I don't like it. But then this one, it almost... Okay, so that's something all right, just to jump into it. something I really liked about this movie as a legacy sequel is that it doesn't completely rehash the first one. It's not trying to nostalgia bait you and be like, oh, remember when Anne Hathaway did this thing? What if she did it again? There's references to the things that she did or references to moments from the first movie that I found funny because that's all that they are. They're references. Like someone's like, yeah, I heard stories that Miranda used to just throw her coat at people, which is a reference to the montage of her doing that to Anne Hathaway in the first one. And that's it. It's just a quick little line. And it's funny. It's like, oh, ha, ha, ha. That's it. That's all it is. It doesn't be like, whoa, she did it again. It's like old times. It doesn't do that. And instead what the movie does is it threatens to like rehash plot points from the first movie. And then right before it commits to actually rehashing them, it zigzags and does something completely different. Like it almost rehashes the bit about Anne Hathaway. You call her Anne Hathaway. The character's name was Andy. About Andy seeing this as a stepping stone to something else, right? Which was big for her in the first one, and then she ends up kind of really loving it and blah, blah. But it does end up being a stepping stone to something else. And in this movie, she's almost does that. She's almost talks about like, oh, this is like a stepping stone to something more. But then she on her own kind of recontextualizes what she means by that, and it becomes a different moment. It's not entirely like that though. They do kind of rehash. She's new to the place again, so Miranda's mean to her, and she seeks out like advice and comfort in Nigel, Stanley Tucci's character, and he kind of gives her almost the same pep talk as the first one, but he also does it like knowingly. Like it's not like they recreate that moment. It's him being like, "Oh, it's the same as 20 years ago. You haven't changed." Which, again, like, it finds a way to make that work. I think in a lesser movie, they would have just done the same thing. And I'm glad that they didn't. The movie also wants to speak on, rampant consumerism. There's a scene where Andy is interviewing Emily Blunt's character, about her being a... she works in Dior, and she's like a fucking... I don't know, a sales... I forgot what they called it. It has like a retailer. Fucking goddamn it, idiot. And she talks about like, oh, like 10 years ago, $100 purse was everything, and now like it's nothing. It's cheap. It's garbage. It's the $3,000 one that you want, which like speaks to the vampirism of these fucking companies, that they propagandize this kind of fashion high end shit to you, and they will bleed you dry for everything you have to make you feel like you're nothing if you don't have this. But then at the same time, the movie, it does have characters that look fantastic, and they're like, oh yeah, I thrifted this, like that. That's cool. I need to go thrifting, man. I gotta do that one day. I don't know if you've noticed the shirts I wear. I have like 5 of these that I just cycle through. And that's the best. I have polo shirts I wear when I go out, but that's kind of it. I don't have a good dress sense. I need to be styled by someone. But the movie also, it wants to talk about consolidation within companies, like companies eating up other companies. When the movie opens, it opens with a almost like shot-for-shot recreation of the opening of the first movie with Anne Hathaway, with Andy, getting ready for something. The first one was an interview, and this one, it's accepting an award for journalism. But in that moment, some people get fired from their job because of consolidation, and CEOs taking giant pay cuts, and the CEO is not taking a pay cut. The company's cutting back, and the CEO is getting richer. And there's a little bit of commentary on what's wrong with that. In the movie, it kind of talks about the predatory nature of these companies just swallowing up other companies. But the movie also ruins that message by the end of the movie, which I will come back to. And then like there's not a lot of commentary in this one about like the fashion industry, the way the first one has, which I was kind of expecting. I wanted to see the movie talk about how fashion has evolved in 20 years. Like how, like I thought I thought that's what the movie was going to be about. I thought it was going to be about Meryl Streep, her character Miranda, how Miranda was maybe seen as like a fossil in this time, how like what she was doing 20 years ago is just different to how it's done now. And there's a little bit of that. There's like some world building of characters talking about her, like, oh, she's out of her depth, she's a relic of a bygone era, and this and that. But there's never like a delving into what that means. Like, there's no characters that are like critical of her because of like her age or her taste being old school or something like that. There's none of that. And there's a little bit of mention of how, like, younger people might want to take her job or take her place because they feel that because they're younger, they're more deserving. But the movie doesn't delve into that. But that's what I was kind of hoping for. I'm a big fan of, like, a movie using its time skip as a means to benefit the story. Like, so much time has passed and the world has changed. And how do these characters interact with a changing world? I'm a big fan of that kind of stuff. But the movie doesn't do that. What else does it do? That's kind of it, actually. It doesn't really further it doesn't further any exploration of any of its characters, like from the first one to this one. Like, everyone's just kind of the same. Like, everyone gets like a reintroduction where Anne Hathaway's like, oh, it's been 20 years. What have you been up to? And some of them are like, I have kids now. What does that do for their character? Fucking nothing. Doesn't make a difference. They might as well not have them. It doesn't change anything. Like, Emily is still the same, but she's like a little bit nicer. Nigel's the same, like literally exactly the same. He doesn't even get any backstory. Is he married now? Does he have a husband? Who fucking knows? Nobody asks him. Nobody cares, apparently. Miranda has a new husband played by Kenneth Branagh, but like, that doesn't change her. Like, she's still the same. She's still cutthroat and cruel. She has a new Emily played by, I forgot her name. I forgot the actress's name, but she's really good. Her name's Armani. She's the new Emily, but she's great. She's really fun, and she's kind of like like the new age hire who tries to keep Miranda in line. Like, every once in a while, Miranda will make like an off the cuff comment that's not like, nice for the workplace, and Armani will be like, hey, you can't say that. But that's kind of it in terms of playing around with a character from like a different time period. We're still working in this current climate. There's like a little bit of commentary on how like magazines aren't a thing anymore, and how like these writers and journalists are forced to create articles that people don't actually read, and these companies have to, like, in order to like thrive in the online space, they need to make content for TikTok and stuff. There's a line where Stanley Tucci is like, yeah, we make content that people scroll past while they're taking a piss, which like is true, but also at the same time, I don't care. I'm not going to sympathize with the $1 million companies. I don't fucking care. I feel bad for the journalists that, like, probably sought to do something great with their writing skills and are forced to just write puff pieces for these fucking terrible editorials. But, like, I don't give a shit about the companies. And that kind of brings me to my biggest complaint with the movie, which is that yes, spoilers for The Devil Wears Prada. This is the last thing I'm going to say about the movie, so you can just skip to the weekly media club if you want, but this is like my big problem with the movie, and happens to be a spoiler. But the second plot of this movie, after the whole Anne Hathaway has to save the company thing, is that the guy who owns the company that owns Runway dies. And his son, played by BJ Novak, takes power, and his decision is to just cut back the company, yada, yada, yada. So Andy hatches a plan to save the company by getting Emily's new boyfriend, who is a billionaire, played by Justin Theroux, to buy Runway, or the company that owns Runway, and then to like just keep things the way that they are. So he'll do the big consolidation thing and own the company, and then we'll be good. But that's not good, because he's doing it to give Emily Blunt power, because she wants to be the new Miranda Priestley. But then they made friends with Lucy Liu, who's a different billionaire, and they get her to buy the company, and thus saving it from a different acquisition. So the whole movie, the plot really gets the ball rolling for Andy because of different consolidations and acquisitions of companies and what have you, pushing her back into the arms of Miranda Priestley on Runway. And the movie criticizes that this is wrong. This shouldn't be happening. That everything is being swallowed up by different people and companies and corporations, and it's squeezing everybody. And it's true. That is a very real thing happening right now in late stage capitalism. But then the movie then says, but it's cool if the good billionaires do it. We put our faith in the good billionaires, like Lucy Liu's character, who's very fictional, will be A-okay. If the good people acquire all of these different companies and all of these different acquisitions go through the good billionaires, we're going to be just fine. It's a stupid message, and it really undercuts the rest of what the movie was trying to say. So that left a really bad taste in my mouth. And there's still like 20 minutes left of the movie after that, so by the time that happened, I was pretty much clocked out. But I did enjoy it. Like, other than that, I did enjoy this. I found it very funny. It's very charming. It was really nice to see these characters after 20 years. Bearing in mind, I saw this movie like 10 years ago for the first time. So for me, it wasn't that long. But still, it's nice to see all the actors like step into these roles and like really just play them perfectly again. Like, I don't know. I think there's a lot of charm in that. But yeah, it's a good legacy sequel. It takes the characters and the premise of the first one, actually does something with it. And it's not interested in just like referencing things for 2 hours and calling it a day, like other legacy sequels do, which I did appreciate. So all in all, despite that one big problem I have with it, I did really enjoy The Devil Wears Prada 2. I thought it was really solid. Okay, Weekly Media Club. Homework was Hereditary, which I had never seen before. And now the only Ari Aster movie I haven't seen is Beau is Afraid. So I guess that should be homework for next week. But yeah, Hereditary, 2018, written and directed by Ari Aster, stars Toni Collette and a handful of other people, but it's really she's the protagonist for the kind of mostly. And the other one is what's his name? Is it Alex Wolff, the one who plays the son? I want to say so because he's in other things that I have seen. It is Alex Wolff. I know things. God damn, I should never doubted myself. Anywho, Hereditary is about this family. The grandmother dies, and after she dies, weird shit starts to happen as the family realizes there's some kind of family curse of sorts that they were unaware of, and shenanigans ensue. Might be like the most tame way to put it. I guess we'll talk full spoilers because it seems like everybody other than me has seen this movie. I liked this. I thought this was really good. Of Ari Aster's movies, I hesitate to say it's the one I like the most. I think it might be only because of how straightforward it is. Like, I think Midsommar requires like some deeper thought, whereas this movie is pretty straightforward. And by the end of it, you get all the answers. And like any other thing you can derive from it, you can derive from it pretty quickly or as you're watching it. Whereas like Midsommar, I thought that's a movie that requires you to like take a breather when it's done and really like reflect on it. And then like Eddington, which I think I don't know. I keep going back and forth with Eddington. I did a whole episode on Eddington because that movie like really struck me. But I think like from that perspective, like as a piece of art, it's maybe Ari Aster's most beautiful thing because of how fucking horrible it is. Like, it's just such a bleak, miserable movie that is unfortunately vindicated like each passing day. But it's very good, Eddington. I like it a lot, but I also hate it, and I never want to watch it again. But if somebody was like, "Hey, we're having movie night, we're watching Eddington," I'm there. I'm the first one there. But I never want to watch it again. It's such a weird thing to try to rationalize. It's such a weird movie that I didn't like, but also kind of loved. Whereas like Hereditary, just straight up really, really enjoyed it. I do think it's a little overhyped. I've been hearing for years how it's like the best movie ever made. It's the greatest horror movie ever made. And I think it's great. I do. But I think that's all a little exaggerating. It's not even the best. I don't even think it's like the best horror movie of the decade, of the last decade. I think both Smile movies are better horror movies. Better movies in general, maybe not. This movie has some layers and some depth and some things to chew on that I don't think Smile necessarily does. Not that Smile has no depth, it does. But those movies are scarier, I think. Like, I think those operate as horror movies a little better. This movie it's full of dread and, like a sinister energy, but it's not scary until the last, like, 20-ish minutes. But it's not that it's not compelling up until that point. It very much is. The performances are across the board excellent, but Toni Collette is a fucking powerhouse in this, dude. Holy shit. She's incredible. I've never seen Toni Collette do anything that wasn't remarkable. She's so good. I love her in Mickey 17. I think she's really slept on in that movie. She's great in Knives Out. She's really good in Unbelievable. That's a show that not enough people have seen. That's a great show, and she's very good in it. But in this, like, she's doing so much. She's grieving. She's full of rage and anger. She's scared. She's just absolutely petrified in some moments. She's confused. She's scary. She's unnerved. She's manic. She's a million different things in this one performance. And she sells all of it incredibly. There is that moment, I've heard people quote it, but that moment at the dinner table when she screams at her son, like, that was fucking powerful shit. Really, really good. I mean, the script is really beautiful too. I mean, it's a great script. Ari Aster's words are incredible, but the way that Toni Collette is delivering them, remarkable, dude. Oh my god. Like, I really felt the pain she was in. I've lost family members. I've lost loved ones, and I felt like it really just does a great job of, I don't know the word to use. Like, you're good at performing that, I guess. Like, I don't know. I just sounded very compelling and gripping. I liked the demonic aspect of it, that unbeknownst to all of them, this family has been passing down this demon named, was it Paimon? Yeah, Paimon, through, like, the generations. This hereditary curse I liked. But there's also, I also think that, I think the movie does happen. Like, I think it definitely happens the way that you see it happen. Like, this feels like a demonic, weird universe. But I also think that there is an element of mental illness happening here, because Toni Collette, Annie, at her mother's wake mentions that, or the funeral, the wake, I think it's the wake. She mentions that her mother had DID and schizophrenia, and we see, or I forgot what it was. We see or hear that she herself has had issues with her mental health and her mental well-being, and it's implied that Charlie, the daughter, has had issues with her mental health and her mental well-being. So, like, the idea of, like, hereditary genes and illnesses being passed down through the generations, like that, in addition to the demonic spirit, that's all playing a part here. There's generational trauma to unpack. Then, like, grief and misery is all happening at the same time. It's a very dense movie, I thought, but I thought it also paced itself really well. Like, it felt like everything was given enough time to breathe, but nothing took too long. No, it didn't feel like we lingered on anything too long, which I think Eddington kind of does at parts, but also Eddington is designed in a very different way than this movie. Like, Eddington is trying to piss you off. That is a movie that is going out of its way to make you angry and annoyed. Whereas, like, this is a very story, character-based drama, and I found it to be very compelling. I do... I don't know. I'm trying to think of something I have, like, any kind of an issue with. Not really. I do think that it takes a little while for, like, all the pieces to get in play. Like, it almost kind of feels like two different stories happen in this movie, where we're dealing with grief and trauma for a little while, and then we find out that Joanne has found a way to commune with her deceased grandson, and from there it becomes a ghost demon possessor type story, and that's like halfway through, and from there that's the plot thread that we're on. But I don't know, like, I don't really have an issue with that, because I still feel like it was paced pretty well. That it doesn't even feel like it comes out of nowhere, because we see some, like, weird ghost shit happen up until that point. So it's kind of foreshadowed that that's where this is all headed. I'm trying to think of, like, anything I had an issue with. Not really. I really liked it. I like the third act a lot. There's some really creepy imagery in that, with all the naked people standing around the house, not even doing anything, just standing there. That's creepy as shit. And when Toni Collette, who's been possessed, chases the son around the house, that's really good. That part where she's upside down on the ceiling, banging her head on the attic door thing, that's really good. The part where she's like doing the stabbing and you hear her head like just come off and bobble on the ground, that was really good. Oh, the part with the pole when he swerves and her head comes off, I had heard about that, but I'd never seen the clip. But I had heard about like the pole scene, and I think I'd even heard someone say that like someone gets their head smashed into one, but I never like knew the full context or what that meant. I just knew that was like the moment from this film. I didn't know it happened so early on. Once they were in the car, I was like, oh, is this how it happens? And then it happens. I didn't even realize it decapitated her. I thought her head just got like mashed into it. I didn't know her head fucking came off. That was cool. I mean, not cool. Children shouldn't die. But I mean, like, you know, visually and as a moment for the story, it's kind of cool. I liked it. I did. Like, the whole movie. Not just that part. I liked it. I thought it was really good. But yeah, I mean, leading out from that, homework for next week is going to be Beau is Afraid. I mean, I might as well finish Ari Aster's entire filmography. Before I started the show, I saw Midsommar. I saw it when it came out because Florence Pugh. But I then watched Eddington a couple weeks ago, or a month or two. Fuck, it's been a while. Yeah, that was March. So it would have been, oh, fuck, we're already in May? Jesus Christ, dude. Then just watched Hereditary. So yeah, Beau is Afraid will be next week. I don't even know what it's about. I just know Joaquin Phoenix is in it, and I know that it's divisive. I've seen some people say it was the best movie the year it came out. I've seen some people say that it's terrible. I'm very excited. I love divisive films. Joker Folie à Deux, another Joaquin Phoenix movie. Divisive because I think it's brilliant and everyone thinks I'm wrong. But yeah, no, Beau is Afraid. Homework for next week, Beau is Afraid. Very, very much looking forward to it. But in terms of other stuff, The Boys, still treading water. We're still just fucking around. I'm getting kind of tired of it. I'm not the only one that feels this way. But, you know, like the season is winding. We have like 3 episodes left in the final season, and we're just dicking around. Why? There's like no urgency to any of this. I feel no stakes for anybody. I need someone to die. I know Firecracker, spoilers, I guess. I know Firecracker died, but that's not, I don't know. She's so new, it doesn't affect me. I don't care. You know, like when Noir died in, what was that, season 3? That really shocked me. That was good shit. That was a solid character death. Just to bring him back anyway. I know it's a new guy, technically, but like it doesn't, like, I don't know. Like, it's not like he's gone. He's still there. Even if he's like a different guy. It's the same actor. I don't know. Just didn't feel like he was like gone. But yeah, I mean, it just, I don't know. It wasn't a bad episode. I liked the Soldier Boy vignette. I liked the framework. I liked that it was like these little different vignettes about the characters. I thought that was an interesting idea. The one shots they called it. The Firecracker one I really liked. I liked this, like this right wing talking head person who had like a really earnest, caring person in their life, and they completely throw them under the bus for the sake of appeasing their I don't know, their deity, their ringmaster. Throwing away their morals and their loved ones for the sake of, you know, power. Like, I don't know. I found that very sad, but also, that being not that directly being her undoing, but that, you know, her basically turning her back on whatever humanity was left in her, even though she's a pedophile. I think the show kind of forgot about that. But turning her back on what was left of her humanity in and to swear her allegiance to Homelander and it meaning nothing, like him still killing her. I liked that. You know, like I never thought the leopards would eat my face kind of thing. The actual like boys vignette about Butcher and Terror and all that was stupid. I didn't like any of that. That was dumb. We didn't learn anything new. Like, we keep doing this dance of everyone like, fuck you, Butcher, you're the worst, we don't like you. And he's like, I don't need any of you cunts. And then something happens and he's like, oi, I bet a bit mean, haven't I? I need you cunts. And they're all like, it's okay, Butcher, we get it. Like, we've been doing that for 5 fucking seasons now. I'm tired of it. I don't care. Also, Kimiko sucks. Like, I really thought her talking would be something cool. It's not. They've given her terrible dialogue. And I feel so bad for Karen Fukuhara. She's a good actor. She deserves better than this. But yeah, no, it's that I didn't like that. The deep one was fine, or it wasn't the deep. It was noir. It was black noir. That one was fine, I guess. I like that he's a person, right? Like I like that he has like a life outside of being a terrible super powered monster who's awful. And then the deep stuff was good, I guess. But also, I don't know why Noir wouldn't just kill the deep. Like I feel like Homelander wouldn't even give a shit. No one likes the deep. I would just kill him personally. And then yeah, like the Soldier Boy one was like it was stupid and pointless and a waste of time, but at least it was funny. Like the Jared Padalecki, the guy from Supernatural, the two of them together again, that was fun. I don't know. I feel like the cameo shit with like all the celebrities and all the little jokes about like, oh, did you hear that Bill Hader got executed? Like, okay, great. I don't fucking care. Show me Barry getting executed, and then I might give a shit. But like I don't know. I don't know. I'm just waiting for the season to do something, to mean something. So far, it's been a big disappointment. Something that hasn't been a big disappointment though is Daredevil. New episode's really solid. I will say though, and this is really the only thing I'll say about Daredevil at this point, is I wish this show was longer. I think next week I might do Daredevil's Born Again Season 2. Like the whole episode, I think that's what the topic will be next week. We'll just talk about the whole season, because it'll be over by then. So I might as well just talk about the whole thing. But I wish the show was bigger and longer, because the Netflix show, being 13 episodes, it gave the writers a lot of time to flesh out the characters and the situations and really dramatize all of it. Like give all the drama enough room to breathe, that it all felt meaningful and it had value. And I feel like Born Again doesn't have the landscape to do that. Because it's a smaller show, 8 episodes and the episodes are shorter. It's just a smaller show. They don't have the time or the room to really give certain moments the time to breathe that I wish they did. Like in last episode, there's that moment where Matt and Karen yell at each other about like the rights and wrongs of killing people. And in the Netflix show, that would have been like a 10-minute scene with incredible dialogue and monologues, and it would have been beautiful. And in this show, it's just a couple sentences of one of them going, "You don't let me kill anyone, Matt. You should let me kill people." And him like, "Karen, a kid's wrong, blah, blah, blah." And that's it. I don't know. I would have liked more time with that. There's more meat to that conversation. And the show does not have, there's a word for that. The real estate, I guess? I don't know. There's like a term. But the show doesn't have the time to give to that, because it's a smaller show, and it has to do other things too. And I also think there's just too much shit happening this season. I guess we'll talk about that next week. But it just felt like there was way too many things going on that we maybe could have scaled back on a little bit. But I don't know. I guess that might not even be true. I don't know. Either way, good episode this week. I liked it a lot. I'm excited for the finale. I'm curious how this is all going to end. I imagine, this will probably go up the day that episode comes out, so it won't even matter. Whatever I predict, it won't matter. But I'm pretty sure Kingpin is going to not win, but I don't think he's going to really lose. I'm pretty sure Matt's going to prison. I don't know about. I really hope his secret identity doesn't get outed. I don't know. I don't want that for him. And if we do that, how's he getting it back? I've always had an issue with that with superhero stuff. Like if someone's superhero identity gets outed, how do they get it back? It's happened to Matt in the comics before. And he cleared his name. I forgot how he did it, but he got his name cleared, and things kind of went back to normal. There were still characters in his life that doubted that, and they were like, "Matt, we know you're Daredevil." And he's like, "No, I'm not." So maybe they'll do that. I don't know, but yeah, I'm excited. I'm really looking forward to see how this ends, because so far it has been a strong season of television. I didn't finish both new episodes of Maul Shadow Lord. I watched they've been dropping them in twos, so I watched the first one, and it was okay. It has a good lightsaber duel in the end. But I got like halfway through the second one, and I was like, I gotta do some other stuff. And I just haven't gone back to it yet. I don't know. I've been kind of let down by the Maul show. I was hoping for more. I was hoping for, I don't know. Maybe my expectations were just wrong. I didn't know they were gonna be on the same planet in like the same 3 rooms the entire show, just doing fuck all, just talking about like, oh, I need a Padawan. I want to groom this minor. And the cop's going like, the Empire makes my job hard. I got to get Maul. Just a lot of that. just it feels like nothing's happened. We haven't moved forward in any capacity the entire season. It's boring. I don't care for it. But other than that, I did get some comic books. I love comic books. So I guess we'll go over what we've got here. I will say there's kind of a twist coming about all of this. So there is a Doom 2099 comic. What does that say? Rage of Doom. There's some Ultron shit going on. Haven't read this one yet. I'll get to it. Deathstroke issue 2 is out. I have issue 1. This is the only copy my comic store guy had. I didn't get one with a cover on it. It's a fucking sketch cover, which is fine, I guess, but I mean, I'm not drawing on it. But yeah, issue 2. Haven't read it yet. I've been busy. There was a new issue of Catwoman out. I'm not entirely caught up on this run. I've read some of it. But I got this because I did read, this is issue 86. I did read issue 85, which is the beginning of a new arc. So I figured that would be a good jumping on point. And then like one day I'll go back and I'll read the other fucking 84 issues. Pfft, light work. And then there was Lobo issue 2. I did read the first issue of Lobo. I thought this was great. This was shockingly good because it was that, Batwoman, and Deathstroke that all came out on the same day. Deathstroke, who's writing Deathstroke? Fleeks? I'm unfamiliar. But Greg Rucka is writing Batwoman, and I have the first one. My comic guy didn't have issue 2. He ordered me one, so that I should get that this week, I hope. But the Lobo one, I was surprised. I honestly thought that was going to be the weakest of the 3, just because I like Lobo, but I don't love him. So I was like really not looking forward to it. But I picked it up, and it's really, really good. I was a little shocked. So I'm looking forward to issue 2. But yeah, no, I haven't. The twist is that I bought all of these and I haven't read them yet. I've just been busy. I'm trying to work on other things. But I will get to them. And if I think they're worth talking about, I'll talk about them next week. But the new Stephanie Phillips Daredevil is out this week. So hopefully if I get to my comic guy on time on Wednesday after work, he won't be out and I'll get a copy. And we'll talk about it next week. We'll have more comic talk. I love talking about comic books. I love comic books. But anywho, that's it. That's the whole show. That's it. That's all I got. A little shorter than the last couple we've been doing. We didn't have a ton of news. Movie review, what have you. Just normal stuff. Turkey talk. We're having fun. I'm having fun. But yeah, that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for indulging me. It really does mean the world to me. I hope you have a great day. I hope to see you next time. Bye.